Hey guys, what up? This is LTX here. Coming today with race 13 of the NR2003 2018 season. I'm doing. I decided in a video description when I was uploading the video like a few days ago that I was going to make the race 36 races long, full season, which means if there's a 26 race regular season, this would make Talladega right here the midpoint. So come back here. The point standings right here. These are the standings as of race 12. I got rid of the DNFs column. Not sure what happened with them, but everything got totally screwed up, so I'm going to have to redo DNFs. I believe the polls are up to date. That makes 6, 9, 11. Okay, yes, we have 12 polls amongst 5 drivers. I guess I gave these guys here the best qualifying ratings, which... Kyle Busch wins 4 poles. That's Kevin Harvick winning the pole. That'll be Harvick's 4th pole of the season. Then you have the winners. You have 3 two-time winners, Blaney, Truex Jr., and Harvick. And then you've got Larson, who's won a race, and all the other one-time winners are Larson. The Busch brothers have a win apiece. Ryan Blaney's got a win. Timmy Hill has a victory. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has a victory. That win... just look at Timmy Hill's points. If he had finished probably where he's been finishing the whole season, then you'd probably subtract roughly 30 points from where he, 30, 32 points from what he has right now because of that victory. And that would place him in the neighborhood of 28th in points. So still pretty good for them, but you see what that one win does for you. If any of these guys down here win a race, not only will it lock them into the playoffs, but it will give them a massive jump in points and make it harder for people down there to try and make up ground. Speaking of the playoffs bubble, right on the cusp of being in and being out is the 88 and the 43. Kurt Busch is above them in points, but Kurt Busch has his victory. So the guys that they're watching is William Byron in the 24 and Ryan Newman in the 31. Byron has a more comfortable cushion, but that can disappear quickly. Newman, Bowman, Bubba are all pretty close. Elliott, Buescher, really all these guys here are pretty close together. A good race by Buescher could put him in, or a bad race by Newman could put him out. So that playoff bubble is still ever so tight. Let's see how much time I have on here. I'll go ahead and get started with the starting lineup here. Mark Thompson starting in the very back. 96 of DJ Kennington with him. The 92 of David Gilliland. 72 of Cole Witt. Jeffrey Earnhardt. Casey Mears in the 75 there. Brennan Gaughan. Timmy Hill. Cody Ware. Matt DiBenedetto. David Reagan. Trevor Bayne. Ty Dillon. Michael McDowell. Bubba Wallace. Jamie McMurray. Chris Buescher, Alex Bowman. You see here these guys that I was talking about right around that playoff bubble. Casey Kane, Paul Menard, William Byron, Austin Dillon, AJ Allmendinger, Clint Boyer, Jimmy Johnson, Ryan Blaney, Eric Jones, Brad Keselowski. Those are the command. 10 of Eric Almirola, Denny Hamlin, Daniel Suarez, Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., 6 is Ryan Newman. Now we're into the top 5. Kyle Larson. Kyle Busch starting 4th. Martin Truex Jr. starting 3rd. You've got a Stuart Haas front row lockout. Kurt Busch on the outside pole. And Kevin Harvick on the pole. As the cars all roll off, we're going to take a look real quick. Oh, let's try. Oops. That's not the right thing. Look at Bubba Wallace's stats. He's had 3 top 5 finishes. And he seems to always qualify in the back. Hence today, I believe, that is I'm pretty sure that's barely top 30 where he's starting, somewhere around 26th. So they're not good qualifying. And it almost seems like they don't even run that well during the race. But they're able to use some really risky strategy, and it's made it work. And right now it has them right outside of the playoffs by just a few points. And we're only halfway through this regular season, so there's still a long 13-race stretch. But pointing your way in might not be ideal. As we look one last time here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different winners, and we're only halfway. Granted, we're probably going to see a win again from Guys like Kyle Larson, definitely Kyle Busch, maybe Kurt Busch. Blaney, Truex, and Harvick already having 2 wins. Those could easily go up. So it's going to be close. There might only be a few spots left for drivers to lock themselves in on points. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of people trying to cash in on today's plate race. We do have one more plate race before the playoffs begin, and that will be the Daytona night race coming up in just a few weeks, or just a few races following this one. That'll be another chance for drivers who don't really get the opportunity to win to try and pull off something special. For now, it'll be at Talladega as Kevin Harvick leads us through the tri-oval to take us to the green. We'll see who can pull off a miracle today, or if it's just another one of the usual winners. Through the tri-oval, Stuart Haas racing teammates will lead us. And just like that, we are underway. Green flag is out. Kyle Busch is aggressive already. Cars all over the place coming out of turn 4 as we come to complete lap 1. Kurt Busch was able to get the jump and a big push by brother Kyle to take the lead early on. We saw Ricky Stenhouse make a really shady move to get to the inside of Kyle Larson. Resulted in a large position loss by Larson, as Larson is now on the very outside with no help. That's 4 wide, but it really helped out Ricky Stenhouse. Stenhouse was able to put himself up there. I believe we saw Clint Boyer there peaking low. Yes, we did. Harvick pulls out to the inside. Looks like to maybe try and make a pass on Kurt Busch. I mean, here he'll have the shorter way around, but there's going to be a speed difference because, well, Harvick doesn't have help. Kurt Busch having more cars lined up behind him should get a better run off the corner. William Byron is blowing up going into pit road. And what did we say about that playoff picture? One bad race can put you out. Well, I said William Byron had a decent cushion, but that cushion is now essentially completely gone following this race, given that nothing terrible happens to any of the other guys like the 43 and the 88 behind him. But that is very unexpected. Hendrick Motorsports engine blowing out on just lap 3. Should the other cars, the 48, 88, and 9, be concerned? I don't know. But for now, that's bad news for William Byron. As I said before, 13 races left until playoff time, but you've got to keep consistency. You got to take victories when you can get them. Victories as top 10s, top 5s, and a blown engine and a 40th place finish. That will only yield them 1 point. And that is not how they need to start how they needed to start the second half of the regular season, or end the first half. That is. As of right now, it's Kurt Busch out front still. He's been able to hold the lead for all 4 laps here. Except now he's got Eric Jones on his back end. And Jones is pressuring him. Well, not really pressuring, more just riding behind him, but not letting Kurt Busch do anything. He stayed right on his bumper. As Eric Almirola pulls down to the inside, Kurt Busch will block that line. And Eric Jones has nobody to help him. He's not going to go to the back, but he's not going to the front. Field still fans out. Kurt Busch fighting back on the outside. Eric Almirola ducks to the inside. Kurt Busch has some more immediate support from Brad Keselowski, it looks like. I don't know if it's going to be enough to get him to the lead. It's a Stuart Haas party up here right now. 10 and the 14 on the bottom, Kurt Busch on the top. 4 wide behind them. That's dangerous. That's Stenhouse on the outside, making things interesting. Looks like he'll be forced to file in, and things settle back down to just 3 wide, as if it's not a whole lot. Kurt Busch does get that run off you saw, but it's not enough. Eric Almirola is going to take the lead as we go into lap 6. And it looks like he's going to pull Clint Boyer with him. Perhaps. I'm not sure. As the race goes on, we start to see some Hendrick cars, and we see Austin Dillon make their way to the front. We see the 9, the 48, the 47. As guys like Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, and Stenhouse start to file back. Eric Jones too. We see some other faces make their way to the front. Add Johnson and Bowman to the top 5, and if things keep going the way they're going for Brad Keselowski, we could be saying add Austin Dillon. Clint Boyer makes a pass down low, hoping the 48, 88, 12, 43, that whole line can reach him in time. They'll get around Kurt Busch, but now Eric Almirola still has control of the race. I would say a very tame race so far, but it's still been pretty dicey. Some pretty big moves. Lots of 3 wide, still 3 wide, some 4 wide action. As Johnson pulls down to the inside of the 14 now to go for that second spot. We've seen a lot of that, but we haven't seen anybody able to pull it off on Eric Almirola since he took the lead a few short laps ago. We're on lap 7 of 29 onto the backstretch. Johnson now up to second. This could be their big chance. They've had some good runs and they've had some good speed. They sit 8th in points, unfortunately, by a very small margin. 8th in points, not necessarily because they have been a top 10 team all season, but a lot of guys like Kyle Larson have had very poor fortune. Kyle Larson and Kyle Busch, much quicker cars, have had some poor fortune. And the 48 hasn't had good or bad luck. They've kind of just been running, getting top 5s here or there, and they find themselves 8th in points. But what they're going to need to boost confidence is a victory, and who's going to need a victory even more than them is the 88 car running right behind him. Alex Bowman has had a pretty terrible season so far. As a matter of fact, the saddest statistic of them all is if we go to Alex Bowman's name, no top 10s or anything. Might have seen a slight stop in the recording. Had to go do something. So I'm back. Quite a ways behind. I was looking at something here in the points. I forgot what it was. I think it was... Sorry, I had to run. I think I was talking about Jimmy Johnson. And how they've had not a spectacular season. Oh no, I was looking at Alex Bowman. Check this out. No top 10s, no top 5s. The next highest driver in points without a top 10 is Matt DiBenedetto, who's 3rd and 4th. So Bowman has been, I guess, consistently mediocre. And that's how he's gotten to this point. I mean, that's not a bad thing. He's 16th in points, but he hasn't scored a top 10. So I guess that means he's, I don't know, he just runs like 15th and finishes 15th every race or something like that. You can see the 48 and 88 just got uprooted by Ryan Blaney. Blaney already a 2-time winner this season. Hasn't slowed down really. Is he the one leading points? No, he's 2nd in points just a little bit. Interesting actually how we have the top 2 in points running 1-2. Only difference is one of these guys doesn't have a win. Eric Almirola, the points leader, still winless this season. I've got like corn in between my teeth right now because I also had a piece of corn. It's really annoying. I'm trying to commentate. I got a toothpick. I'm trying to pick it out. It's not working very well. Oh, it sucks. Okay, well. Kurt Busch up to 2nd. Nobody can find their way around Eric Almirola quite yet. 4 wide behind this little group here. That could be dangerous. Ooh, I think there was contact there between the 21 and the 47. 4 wide mess is not over. 48 plummeting back, being the one that's hurt mostly from that 4 wide. It's usually the guy on the very top. There's a 43 down low looking for some daylight. Can't get any. No hope for him. He's able to improve his position a little bit. Kurt Busch falls back after challenging Eric Almirola, and we're back to Ryan Blaney. So cars file around to come on to lap 12. We'll be approaching pit stops in a little bit. Should be only 1 green flag pit stop necessary to make it to the end of the race. I'd really like it if we don't do green flag stops though. they usually kind of suck and mess up the race because the pack gets all spread apart and running order gets all wonky. So I'm kind of hoping we have a caution. First of all, because it's characteristic to have a caution at Talladega, and second of all, so we don't get incredibly spread out. If we look here in the lead pack, there's about 33 cars. Well, I mean, I say 33. Comfortably in the pack, it looks like we've got 30. A little bit of a gap to the field. Oh, I don't know. Let me look at it. It's not as bad as I thought. 33 is barely hanging on to the pack. Looks like the first big fallback is a 32, De Benedetto. And after that, the guys are definitely off. 66 and the 52 having less than ideal days. 96. This is interesting, actually. The 96 is there in 3 and 4. So all these guys here are going to catch the slow 96 car eventually. I'm not sure when. On average, he's running about, say 50.6. He's running about 3 seconds slower a lap, so I mean, they could catch him in the next 9 laps, but we are going to have some green flag stops. I'd also like to point out very quickly that Ryan Blaney did get uprooted from the second spot. Eric Almirola is able to retain the lead. Almost done with this toothpick. Ryan Newman behind him. Newman now looking to challenge. 43 up on the higher lane there. Doesn't look like he has any help. That outside lane looks like it has completely crumbled. Here comes Larson to the front. We haven't really seen Larson up front. Ooh. Menard makes a very quick maneuver to block as Larson had a run. Larson took his run to the outside. I'm not sure if that was the best option because they really can't get any momentum going up there. It takes a little bit more to get the outside lane going, especially in this game, by the way. And I don't know if that was the best move by Larson. It's really going to hurt Newman, but I think it's also going to hurt Larson's chances. So now lined up behind Eric Almirola is the 78 of Martin Truex Jr. And once again, Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson's found his way back to the front along with Clint Boyer. Looks like they're going to take it down to the inside. Truex will be the one here to go to the middle. Eric Almirola is still able to comfortably hold them off. Now he's got the 48 back on his bumper. Now that Truex Jr. is out, we'll see what Johnson can do. Just over halfway through the race, by the way. And the field looms closer to DJ Kennington. Could that spell disaster? Oh my, 4 wide all the way throughout the field there. That is very dangerous. They really fanned out there, didn't they? Looks like they were able to get out of it clean. See the turning of tides. Jimmy Johnson to the outside now. He'll fall back. Now it's Clint Boyer on his Storehouse Racing teammate's bumper. Nobody seems to be able to make a move and get around Eric Almirola. Hasn't won yet this season. They've been good enough to make the playoffs. I'd basically guarantee them in. Not that they're locked in, but the way they've been running, there's no chance that they have enough bad races to miss it. But they're going to have to get a victory to get that insurance so they can start getting ready for the playoffs. And, you know, just to top off the season. I get called once a friggin' recording. But, they've got to have that victory. Green flag pit stops look like they're starting. By the way, here they go. Only pit stops of the day, led by Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, 37, 47, 1, 34, and the 95. Those will be the only stops so far. Got one on the grass back here. Who's that? Can't tell who it was. Well, anywho, yes, it would put the cherry on top to what has already been a spectacular season. We're about a third through the season. Of course, things can change drastically. We've still got a long way to go left in this season. But a win by now would be nice for that 10 team for them for some added confidence. Because the way they've been running, out of 13 races, they've had 9 top 10s. Leads every driver by at least 2 top 10s. So it's not a matter of if this team is going to win, it is when. As you see, the 43 dives it down on the pit road to gain some spots there. Was really able to pick up in some spots and make some ground. Lots more cars pitting, still some yet to make their way onto pit road. Which, who are they? 2 of Keselowski and the 14 of Boyer. 11 of Hamlin are still yet to come into pit road. Got a pack further back. Reagan Menard, Stenhouse, and Gone still have to pit. What we need to be watching, though, is the 10 car of Eric Almirola, because remember, it looks like he's going to have some good company to come out of pit road with. Caution's out. Oh, dear. Oh, my goodness. It is Paul Menard. Paul Menard has wrecked, and I don't know how many guys we're going to have trapped a lap down here. First caution of the day coming in the middle of the green flag pit stop cycle. We'll see who the pace car comes around and captures. We're going to take a quick break and look at the replay. We'll be back to sort out the restart. This is a camera angle we can get the best view of it. You'll see that the 21, he's gaining up here, and then right here he sees the 1 coming. He slams the brakes because the 1 is coming back up, and the 17 has nowhere to go, and that will end. Well, not end, but that will definitely, you know, it'll end his day. He'll probably still be able to keep racing, but I highly doubt the chance of any good finish. From any other camera angle, it looks like Stenhouse flat takes him out, but you can see here, watch, as McMurray comes back to rejoin. Paul Menard drastically reduces his speed, perhaps frightened by the 1 car. You know, it was a good reaction, but he had a car right behind him, and there was nothing Stenhouse could have done to stop that. He was right tucked in behind the 21. Stenhouse even reacted in time to hit the brakes. He would have still ran into the 21 and perhaps lost control on his own. Look at it from one more camera angle. It's pretty hard impacts too. Stenhouse didn't exactly get away clean. Unfortunate deal for Paul Menard. Fortunately, he has a victory, so it won't hurt him too much. He is locked in. We'll get back to the restart and see how this thing wraps up. Welcome back. We are live from Talladega. Pace car's lights are turned off. We are less than a lap from the green flag. Peculiar situation. We have the lap car of DJ Kennington at the front of the field. Fortunately, everybody behind him is lead lap. The top 5 will go Eric Almirola, Eric Jones, Bubba Wallace Jr., or Darrell Wallace Jr. or Bubba Wallace, Kevin Harvick, Jimmy Johnson. Top 10 finishing out will be Clint Boyer, Ryan Blaney, Alex Bowman, Ryan Newman, Austin Dillon. I'm a big fan of the 88 right now. Not even for them to win. I would just like to see them score 1 top 10. You know, they've been consistent, but now they need to step it up. If they're this consistent and they run top 10, they'll have no problem making the playoffs, given that there's enough spots to point their way in on. But I would very much like to see them finally score a top 10. Guys up here that we have not seen win. 20 of Eric Jones has no win. 43 has no win. Jimmy Johnson has no win. Does Clint Boyer have a win? Clint Boyer, not only does he have no win, but he's 29th in points. 88, not even a top 10 to speak of. 31, no win. 3, no win. So a lot of guys without wins right here. The only people in the top 10 with wins would be the 4 of Kevin Harvick and the 12 of Ryan Blaney. Everybody else in the top 10, whether they're near the top in points and near the bottom in points, are winless. So it'll be DJ Kennington leading the field to green. However, it'll be Eric Almirola leading the lap. As they come through the tri-oval, the cars prepare to roar back to life and get through the gears, as we'll have 7 to go on this restart. Green flag is out. Boyer already jumps to the outside back there, trying to waste as little time as possible. As the field slowly creeps up to speed, it's time to see what they will do about DJ Kennington. It won't be long before eventually they just start to overpower him straight up. And here they go now. There's guys on the outside. You see, never mind, 48 trying to move down low to get out of the way of the slow 96. Boyer looks like he's trying to inch down too. That's going to very early on cost 3 lanes, and that's going to hold up Eric Almirola. Now it's going to hold up 48-14. Eric Almirola and Harvick on that high side. Obviously, Kennington being the much slower and more underfunded car, really going to change things as they fan out pretty wide there. But these guys here are in trouble. They're being held up by 96 of Kennington. But right now it's Eric Jones leading the race, looking for his first victory of the season. 43 behind him. And then there he is, Ryan Blaney, second in points to Eric Almirola, with Eric Almirola dropping positions rapidly, stuck behind the 96. He pulls out to the Blaney pulls out to the bottom with the 88. He goes back to the inside. 78 pulls low, and just like that, the field kind of explodes a little bit. We've got two lanes. Blaney was able to fake out the 43 and move to second. Ryan Blaney hungry for win number 3 on the season as he moves up. Bowman looked like he was going to go with him. Blaney looks like he'll stop that from manifesting into anything else too bad. 5 laps to go. Bowman to the inside again. It looks like Bowman's going to get it this time. Bowman and Jones 1-2. Neither of them have victories yet this season. Just under 5 to go. Blaney's able to file back into the 3rd position. A lot of the guys have cleared the 96 finally. Eric Almirola now clear of him. Hoping to get back to the front. Needs to get back to the front if he wants to protect his points lead. Blaney to the top with the 78 and the 20. Now it's going to be Clint Boyer challenging Alex Bowman for the lead. Alex Bowman chasing his first win of the season. His first top 10 of the season. Cuts off the 14. Risky block there. He'll retain the lead for another time around. 4 more circuits. Blocking a run coming from the top. He's going to leave the bottom open too long. Barely cuts down in front of Boyer. Risky decision making. He's trying to block every line he can, but there's only so much you can do when you have no help. And the only people behind you are people that want to pass you. Boyer stays patiently right behind Bowman. There he goes to the inside. Boyer got a run. It looks like Boyer's going to take it. We've seen multiple times Boyer super close to a win. And not only does he not get the win, he actually ends up wrecking and more unfortunate things happening to him. Just terrible luck. He has the lead, but look out, it's Ryan Newman to the inside now with a big shove from Eric Almirola and Kevin Harvick. The lead changes hands once again. It'll be Ryan Newman to the point. 3 laps to go at Talladega. Stronger car on the outside, Clint Boyer, but Ryan Newman has a lot of help as they split him. The Storehouse car split Ryan Newman. Almirola on the bottom, Boyer on the top, Newman in the middle with no help, and this is sure to blow things wide open. See the 48 and the 12 peak low, 3rd lane opens up there. Bowman shuffled out to the outside. It's now a Storehouse racing battle, coming around to take 2 to go. Advantage to the 10. So coming up on the slow car of Denny Hamlin, that is probably going to shake things up if they're definitely going to catch him. Kevin Harvick in the catbird seat. Storehouse Racing teammates 3 wide for the lead. 2 laps to go. Oh, they almost touch. About 4 wide behind them, just about. Kevin Harvick will take the lead, forcing his teammates 3 wide. However, this thing is far from over as they're about to catch Denny Hamlin, who is considerably off the pace considering he has no drafting partners. This is going to severely impact the outcome of this race. As a matter of fact, it was how Timmy Hill won the race. Speaking of Timmy Hill, there he is in the top 10. Timmy Hill trying to add to his plate racing repertoire, whatever you say. As they come around to the white flag through the trial for the second to last time, Harvick leading, Newman behind him. Decision time. Here comes Hamlin. They're going to have to try and get around him. They're going to move. Hamlin blocks Kevin. What? Hamlin blocks Harvick. Here comes the outside lane. They don't have much of a run. They can't do a whole lot with it. Denny Hamlin, for whatever reason, blocks Kevin Harvick. Harvick moves to the bottom to try and get around him. And that is bad news for everybody else. Harvick was able to get by. They're all going to be stuck behind Denny Hamlin, who blocked. I don't think there's going to be much competition for the win following that. Harvick motoring away. Here he comes. He's got the 43 behind him. Not much they can do. And that's going to cap it off. It'll be Kevin Harvick coming through the trial for the last time this race. He is going to take this race from Talladega as they all cross the field in an absolute mess. Denny Hamlin with a block for whatever reason. definitely changed the outcome of the race. Harvick was already leading. He did not lose the race, or no one like lost the race because of that, but that definitely impacted the outcome. As we look through, notable finishers: Eric Almirola 5th. Blaney was not able to hold on for the top 10, and he finishes P11. It's not good news for him. Well, it's not bad news, but really it's whatever. As they all come down onto pit road, Kevin Harvick, win number 3 on the season. They haven't been the most consistent, but it's another victory for them. They started on the pole, started first, and that's where they ended. As we take a look at our final finishing results, lots of faces at the front of the field at one point in today's race. Harvick being the one there at the end. Newman, oh so close. Bubba Wallace, close too. Buescher, Almirola. Almirola continues to impress. His 6th top 5 of the season, and his 10th top 10 of the season in 13 starts. So, Eric Almirola continuing to set the pace for the field. I believe with a poor finish from Truex Jr., that will solidify Almirola as the series leader in top 5s and top 10s, and it will increase his points lead. So Eric Almirola, another top 5, P5. It's good points. It's good for stat packing, but they are still yet to capture that elusive first win at this season. And as I said before, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And unfortunately, that when will not be today for him. Clint Boyer 6th. Penske teammates, Keselowski, Logano 7th and 8th, Austin Dillon 9th, and Timmy Hill 10th. Is that a trend? He won the 500 and finished 10th here, so maybe plate tracks are just their strong suite. Blaney 11th, Johnson 12th, Gervain 13th, Eric Jones 14th, and wow, this stings. Alex Bowman 15th. It looked like at the end there with 3 laps to go, he was going to have a shot, but he got shuffled out, and not only did he not even win, he did not even get the top 10. And for 13 races now, Alex Bowman will not have a top 10 finish and likely maintain his position in points with 15. Cole Witt 16th, Chase Elliott 17th. I don't know, Bubba finished really high. He might pass. Bubba and Buescher finished really high. I think we might see the 43 in the playoffs following this race, especially considering the 24 finishing dead last, barely making it 3 laps. Gone 18th, Reagan 19th, Kurt Busch 20th. Stenhouse 21st, and Benedetto 22nd. Denny Hamlin, easily the catalyst in the outcome of this race, 23rd. Truex Jr. 24th, Kane 25th. Then you got the rest of the field. Some guys back here that were trapped a lap down, like McMurray. McDowell was faster. And Menard had his wreck. Allmendinger, not sure what happened to him. Cody Ware, 52nd. It was a camshaft, oil pressure, fuel leak. Wow, I didn't even notice these guys were out of the race. Holy cow. Really? All these guys? I mean, gearbox for the 24. Suarez apparently was taken out in an accident. I completely missed that. A fuel leak for Kyle Busch. Kyle Larson in the 42. Oil pressure. I mean, that's pretty significant. All those reliability problems. Larson 10th in points. He's going to continue to plummet further. Same with Kyle Busch. I mean, they've been faster and they've been higher in points this season, but they've been plummeting downwards. Just poor luck for them. As good fortune will strike Kevin Harvick, make him the most winningest driver this season so far. 3 wins in 2018 out of 13 starts. Good season for him so far. Talladega is a track where anybody could have won. Perhaps some teams like Alex Bowman or Bubba Wallace who don't have that win, that are just outside, that need one. We're looking to capitalize, but Harvick denied them of that chance. They'll have one more shot on a plate track before playoffs time. That will be the Daytona night race. But who's to say they can't pull off an upset anywhere else? We'll have to find out once we go to next week's round 14 race, which I haven't decided because I am totally making up this schedule as I go. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this race, and I'll see you on the next video.